everyone, welcome to day one of Junk Journal July, hosted by Meg Journals and Get Messy Art. For more details, check out my description box below. So today's prompt is all about good vibes, and you see I have cut into a bunch of cards some collage boards that I made using old book pages. I got this idea from the good vibes that I got from Carrie the Crafter's recent video, where he did this same kind of technique. He had a bunch of little bitty things left over, like labels and little images, and I have the same thing going on. So I have this big basket of little snipped out things like labels, tiny magazine images, little bits of ephemera left over from kits and cut out of books, and I thought it would be nice to get that basket a little bit emptier so it's not threatening to spill over all the time. So what I'm doing today is making this little collection of what becomes, I believe, 32 journal cards, because my sewing machine later eats 2 of them somehow. So this is a really fun little relaxing project, and I'm doing it kind of like a marathon. When one gets finished, it leaves the pile and a new one comes in. So when I saw Carrie doing this, he was using old book pages that he had glued down onto paper and backed with other blank book pages. And then he was adding little bits of snippets before he cut them. I chose to cut them beforehand and then do my composition afterward. I think both are a fun technique that give a bit of a different feel depending on, you know, what you're looking for. I like the randomness of his technique. I think also you could do some stamping, you could do rub-ons. It's just like creating little mini collages. So one of the things that I'm using here as like the fodder on these cards has a bit to do with my Use Your Books series of videos, where I go through all of those magazines is what I'm starting with, but also little books, things that I feel like I don't want them to live on a shelf in my house forever. So I've challenged myself to go through all my magazines and make this series called Use Your Books, where I literally go through each page, and every project that speaks to me, I'm going to make a video so that I have these videos as a real footprint of that inspiration. Because I think we buy magazines we get good vibes from them. Again, back to this good vibes topic, like we look at them, they're inspiring, but then all those ideas get lost to kind of the annals of time in your imagination. They get replaced by other things, like that mental Pinterest board can only hold so much. So my way of kind of purging the unnecessary things from my life that are physical is to put it somewhere on, you know, the cloud, the cloud of life, my cloud being my YouTube channel. So I'm finding it quite therapeutic to go through and use my books, make all those projects, make content for you, make content for me, and make fun ephemera. And then when I'm done, I'm left with just the magazine as its physical form and decide what to do with it. So there's a couple options. I can donate, or I can literally use them up, and I've been choosing to use them. So a lot of the little bitty things that I'm cutting out to make this ephemera actually came out of one of my Stampington magazines that I actually just finished using, and I felt so good just cutting all the things out. It was very relaxing. I was, I think, watching YouTube, and I just sat there cutting out little bits like I would for, you know, a glue book or something. And then I made a little pile and thought about this project and how I could make these lovely little journal cards. And then I also have a lot of things like stamped labels, vintage stamps, little cutouts from children's books, old ephemera packs that I have, small things like cigarette cards, or these little tiny bits of stationery that you get from things like your Creative Studio box, or you know, things that come in the mail from different places where you may order things. I also try to go through big books that I have, or books that I've bought for a project. Like if I buy a large book about, you know, say pop art, because I'm doing a pop art journal, there are going to be leftovers from that, little things that wouldn't have made sense as a page in the journal, or they weren't really able to be used at a collage at the time, or made into a journal card or a tag. So I end up with all these little things, and it's nice to use them up, as well as things like stickers. I think we buy much more than what we can ever use. So having these kind of use it up type projects, again, I think it gives you good vibes. I think when you have a little bit of, you don't have everything in the world. There's some kind of boundary to what you have to create with, that you end up making some of your best work. When you just continually have more and more and more stuff, it gets overwhelming. You can't find things. There's a lot of challenges to just having loads and loads of supplies. And I'm trying to rein that in for myself a little bit. And also realizing that things aren't so precious. Just use them. You don't need to, be stressed about that. I've bought and hoarded so many things like beautiful fabrics, vintage stamps, things like that. And I bought them with the intention of using them. So, these things make you use them. You just get out some supplies and you go. And I think afterward, you're going to feel great, because first you're going to have this stack of really lovely journal cards that have a real kind of a cabinet of curiosity type feel. I see them working in nature journals, in art journals, in general journaling that I see people, just doing, where it's eclectic and the ephemera doesn't necessarily matter. It could be seasonal, maybe. You would use journal cards like this maybe in the summertime because there's lots of flowers. I also think that with this kind of eclectic type project, you end up creating fodder for journals of many different themes. So thanks for hanging out with me for this first day, and I will see you again tomorrow for another day of Junk Journal July. So the last part of this video and the good vibes that I'm liking to send out into the world, I just want to show these to you now that I've stitched around them, and also to announce that this is a giveaway for this whole stack of cards. Because I am approaching 2,000 subscribers here on this channel, which is just mind-boggling and awesome, I wanted to go ahead and send out some good vibes into the world, because I know it's going to happen. I know people usually wait until they hit their goal to do a giveaway or what have you, but I am just of the belief that all these good vibes will get me to where I want to be. So that being said, in order to enter this giveaway, all you have to do is be a subscriber of the channel and leave a comment on this video, no other video, just this one. Leave me a comment and do one of two things. Tell me who one of your other favorite paper art YouTubers are, junk journal, what have you. I'm not going to be too much of a stickler, just your other favorite, creative YouTuber. Or tag a friend on YouTube and say, hey, you might like this channel, and just, invite them along to our party. That would be the only two requirements, and I will ship these worldwide wherever you are. So this is a lot of fun, and I think it's a good start to Junk Journal July. So thank you so much for joining me, and we'll talk again tomorrow. Bye for now.